Sí. Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you all back into my channel on YouTube, Spirit Teaches of Going Within Self, on TikTok, 1974 Enlightened Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always recommend, suggest, and really encourage that you go read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit Teaches of Going Within Self, to get a better understanding of what it is that I bring forward on my channel. I'm here, and it's all through okay, and I use a lot of my own life as an example, as a way of teaching and connecting. Okay, and many people take offense to it, and that's just fine, because today I'm coming in to talk about heyoke empath. Okay, as many of you are aware of empaths. Okay, empaths are the ones that really feel. Okay, you can have a narcissistic empath, or you can have the victim empath, and the empath that like helps others, puts others above themselves, and then when they do that, they either end up being a narcissistic empath or a victimized narcissistic empath, because a lot of time you can't find the balance. But there's the heyoke, where we go at both sides. Okay, we're not going to coddle you, but we will be sympathetic to a point. But see, that sympathy goes away when we begin to get irritated. Okay, we get irritated with the way we can use the way sometimes we use our empathic side. Okay, you can become the narcissistic empath, like ego, and then you can, like I said, you can be the victim narcissistic empath because you've helped so many people, and then you say, well, I was talking to somebody, and what gets my goat is people will say, well, I do this for this person and that person and that person and that person. They don't do anything for me or what have you. And then my question is, like, did they ask for you to do it? And their answer is usually, well, no. So if they didn't ask you to do it and you took it upon yourself to do it, why are you fucking irritated with them? Why aren't you irritated with yourself? And maybe why don't you stop doing that? Or are you looking for that, like, somebody to praise you because you did something? See, I have here, and we're going to go into like different ways of seeing an empath, because we're tough. We will fucking irritate your demons. Okay, because I seen another woman on here and she was talking about demons, that you can see the demons manifest in people. So I'm gonna, like, this. My channel will irritate people. You'll like me, hate me, love me, loathe me. I'll make you laugh. I'll make you cry. I'll piss you off. Demons to me, and I know they become, like, you see the manifestation of it. But is it that part of the shadow that's saying, hey, like, payback's a fucking bitch, man, like karma. And it's that part where people will look at me and think that I'm demonic. It's no, those shadows, those parts of me, those parts of the ancestors that, it's passed down from generation to generation. It's when they come to the surface, okay? Because what's happening in the world right now is that you're shadowing each other, okay? Whether you're aware of it or not. And I can feel that. Somebody in here wants to shut me up. How about you just leave my room? If you don't like what I have to say, you can just delete it. It's today. I'm going to go up against you and I will piss you off. I will say things you don't want to hear because I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to show you the things that you don't want to hear about yourself. So, you know, that's when people don't want to be around me, and that's just fine. I love being around me. And the reason why I like being around me is because I can finally see myself. I see that I'm not perfect because nobody is perfect. I'm here to go up to the ones that, that will go up to someone and say, "Oh, you think you're so righteous," with all due respect. You're the one shooting people down and saying that they do this and they do that. I don't believe myself to be righteous, but I do know that I've been making more right choices, and that's what righteous is. There's times when I don't like what so much like what comes out of me because, that's where I see myself to be looking like the fucking asshole. But see, I've surrendered and said, okay, spirit, use me. Aristito, porque I can feel someone's beginning to cry. And people say, well, that's just you. Like, you always say it's someone else. Like, do you ever take responsibility for God? You're fucking right, I do. But I do know when it's spirit, and I know when it's myself, and I know when it's someone else. Yesterday, I was talking to somebody and explaining something, and they rolled their eyes at me. Or, I've done, like, I did readings for people, and I said, you're not, there's times when you're not going to fucking like me. Because when I do readings, I ask questions. Let's see. Electronics are acting weird around me right now, and I have my heat turned off, and that's sun. Like, it's cold. Excuse me. It's cold outside, but that sun is warm. It's like that. It's like I sleep. Today was a rough day. Later in the day, I feel that and I hear it. Right now, I'm getting a lot of screaming right in here, and I don't know if anybody's noticed, but, like, I've noticed on my chest right here, it's a little pushed out today. Yeah, I heard somebody say energy buildup. Yep. Because it's, my body's healing, and that's from in 2016 or 2016, in 2019 when I went down at Costco. Um, my body kind of full in, so it kind of pushed. So I know it's an energy buildup there. What the heck is going on here? Mixed carrots with melon, with lemon. But I sent it to my Facebook. So I said, like, electronics are acting really weird. I love this song, Out of the Ordinary. And we are all out of the ordinary. I don't know why that's doing that. It's set to one thing. Oh, just one sec, please. Oh, shit. Oh, that's because I went on the wrong computer. Siento, parequito, whatever, so that won't investigar. You know, I seen somebody else on here and they were saying, like, they had commented because people were saying about how the 3D energy is heavy. And I tell them, I'm like, don't think of it that way. I like, sometimes it's hard not to see it, and it's hard to manifest things when you're going through that shift. So those people that tell people, like, don't think of it that, or what have you, are you teaching them how not to? And are you doing it yourself? Because I've been like mastering a lot, but I still go through that. Heyoke empath traits. In spiritual communities, Heyoke empaths are considered to be the rarest and most powerful type of empath, possessing a unique set of characteristics. Empath emotional mirrors. Okay, and that's they reflect others' emotions, behaviors. And that's like when my son was younger and when he would like would take temper tantrums. I would mirror him. And then I'd say, now, how ridiculous, how did I look? Okay. Like today was a gaslighting day and it was over the cat. Okay. Yes, it was good air. Okay. Behaviors and hidden truths back to them, forcing a process of self-evaluation and growth. Okay, so now when I come on and I speak up about other people or how people are to me, I'm going to say about what was reflected on what happened to me, and then I'm going to give you back a little bit. of your own medicine. It was like, okay, people get irritated with this, but last year with my youngest son was at a ball field, and I went there, and I went to watch the game, and it wasn't even him who told me, it was one of my sisters who told me that they were at the ball game, so I went to watch. And they had been playing ball before that. They were there before I even got there playing. And I got there, and they were going back out to play, and they said about, like, to the girl to come to nanny and watch her, and I said I didn't come to babysit. And my son, he'll throw it, and he's thrown it at me and said, "Well," talking about my older sister, "Well, she wouldn't mind doing that." It's like, good, that's her. She got invited there. You didn't even tell me about it, right? So I was sitting there and I was watching the ball game, and the little girl, she got up and she ended up out in the middle of the ball field. Well, I don't know how anybody didn't see her going in the first place. And it brought her over to me that, like, towards the end, it brought her over, and he looked at me and said, "You're not a very good babysitter." I didn't come here to babysit. I told you I didn't come here to babysit. And then he called me a fucking idiot. And because, maybe I didn't approach things appropriately by going live, but I was pissed off because the thing is, I went live about him and his girlfriend. Okay. And see, the thing was, they're irritated with me and want me to apologize because it was a public thing. But see, theirs were public in front of a whole bunch of people. Like, I mean, actual people there. You're on a screen, and there's people that don't know me and not watching. And you're on a screen. But this was actually in public with a ball field crowded full of people. And he told me that I wasn't a very good babysitter, and then told me I was a fucking idiot. So how private were they? But I'm expected to apologize. Well, I gave back a little bit of the heyoke empath. I reflected, like, you were telling me I wasn't a good babysitter and calling me a fucking idiot. I just reflected back on you. But you didn't like that. But you wouldn't apologize to me. But I'm expected to apologize. How is what you did, and like how is what I did any different than what you did? Because I know these people watch. They just use a different account. See, people won't see it that way. And why won't they see it that way? Because they can never see themselves. And that's the thing. It's like people think that it's okay for them to say and talk to somebody the way that they want to, whether people's around or not. But the minute you reflect it back at them in the same type of way, it's different, right? So because of that, coming publicly and doing that, I don't get to see my grandson unless I apologize. So how is what I did any more wrong? Like what was done there? That was wrong. So that's a part of, I'm going to reflect it back at you and say, hey, maybe you need to grow. Maybe you need to do a little bit of inner work and see that, you know, but they won't see where what they did was wrong. But they'll expect someone else to apologize to them, but they don't feel like they owe an apology. And when I said about the babysitting thing, it was like, well, you said, no, I didn't. I said that I didn't come there to babysit. Well, you should have. Like, you should have been okay with it. You should have been happy to see her. And my thoughts were with that, who was looking after her before I got there? And I was, and later, just about a week, 2 weeks ago, he said, well, she was sitting in with us. So if she was sitting in with you, then, I said I came to watch the game. I came to watch you play the game, not run after kids. Whether, and or not. Like, grandparents aren't your fucking babysitters. And that's the thing. Just because we don't want to babysit or look after the kids because we're doing something, it doesn't mean that we don't care about the children or want to spend time with the children, but you will guilt us. And that's where, and the reason why I'm not going to apologize, because it was no different. What I did was no different than what was done there. Only they made me it made me cry in public because he said it, called me a fucking idiot in a way that that he would perceive that other people would not hear him, and then I would look like a raging lunatic. And now, like I said, because I won't apologize, I don't get to see my grandson or my grandchildren because there's three other children, and he always says, "Well, I got two other kids," and he'll say, and to me, reflect at me that, well, you're not as you act like you're his mother. No, I don't. And that's the part where, you're gonna hate me if you don't want to spend no time with me. Fine and dandy. That just tells me your character, whether you're my family member or not. You want me to apologize, so I have to apologize for what I've said or things like that, but you don't have to. Isn't that called a fucking double standard? See? Fuck. I catered to my children. And whenever I ask, like, okay, my son, don't come visit me. And this was happening even before this happened. So am I going to reflect at you? You're fucking right, because you might want to look at yourself. So to self-evaluation, but they won't do that self-evaluation because it's that part of you think you do no wrong, and that's where those same people will look at you and say, "Oh, you're so righteous." No, you're the one who thinks that you're so righteous and you do no wrong because you expect everybody else to fucking apologize and kiss your fucking boot. Here, suck on my big toe. Is that being rude? Well, no more rude than you are, right? Unconventional healing. They use humor. sad trait, blunt honesty, what I'm doing now, and paradoxical actions to change people's perspectives and emotional blockages. So I'm gonna fucking piss you off until you spit out what it is that's really fucking bothering you. It's like I'm gonna find your secret, even if I have to fucking embarrass you to do it. Because that day, I was embarrassed. And my grandkids come running when they knew it was me because nobody else speaks my language. When I like, it's like, and I just threw it out. And then the kids come running all happy and laugh, nanny, 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 and hugs right onto me. But I'm not allowed to see my grandkids because I spoke up and said something. So anybody who backs them up and thinks that I done wrong, you might want to know what they did. But oh right, it's okay for someone to do it to somebody else. But you only hear one side and you don't want to hear the other side. So I say, "Quita por aquí, like, get the fuck away from me because I ain't got time for your bullshit, and I will rip a fucking strip off you, whether you think it embarrasses me or not." Because that same day, no, my dad, he told my son, he said, "She's right. She did tell you that she didn't come here to babysit." And my son, it was words, and that's when I started speaking in the language and getting pissed off, getting a little bit loud. And that's when my dad said, "All right, Tara, that's enough." And I just looked at him and said, "Why? Am I embarrassing you?" It's okay. That's why I say it's okay for others to embarrass an empath, someone who feels everything, because it's like that fucking punch. It's like, here, you want to give me a punch? Good, because I'm going to give you a fucking blow. And it ain't always going to be in English either, because, hey, I dive deep into the spirit. So when people want to roll their eyes at me, I feel sorry for you. Emotional blockage. For example, they might respond to anger with calmness to highlight the absurdity of the anger. But see, the thing is, and it may be harsh, but I'm going to meet you at your own fucking game. So that woman that was watching and say, "Oh, did you ever see when a demon comes out here? There's your fucking demon." Because they said in the video, it said about they're gonna have a celebration. The celebration represents the inner freedom. I'm not. This one's not. I cut mine on my finger, not much is good. Okay. So I opened a table here the other week, the other weekend. It was my first one, and I did readings, but I also do like energetic clearings and what have you. And that's where I can get really crude and rude to you, because that's where okay, I have right here. This is my. This is one of my things on my table. My ex-husband, he said, well, maybe you should put less stuff on your table because I think people thought that you were selling rocks and stuff like that because they didn't see your sign. Some people don't even have signs. He said about my sign not being big, or you might want to take some of your stuff off the table. Well, let me see if I can give you a picture of. Okay. Oh shit. Let's see if I can try to enlarge this. Oh, I've got some hot flashes going on here. So this is a picture of my table. Okay, my signs. And I have rocks and crystals around because when I'm doing readings or when I'm doing energetic healings, I have my stuff around because it helps. Okay, it helps to keep me grounded and what have you. And he was telling me that people were looking at it and probably wondering if I was selling the rocks. No, I was telling people like I use them as a grounding tool. Pick up a rock, ground yourself. So what I offer and I have it at the table is like one part of it is mystical healing through the language of light, which services offered is $25 per half hour. And it entails energetic healings and clearings of your of home, self, and surroundings. Okay, so that's what I do. So, and then below that, for the more spiritual part of it, it's spirit to spirit teachings of going within self, services offered, price to be discussed, and it's spiritual exorcism. Okay, it's that energetic exorcism. You have a poltergeist, so you have like something attached to something in your home. You have an entity, and it's freaking the shit out of you. I go in, and I do it in museums. I go in, and that's that entity, that spirit, that energy will guide me to where it's at, and I will meet it in its. I will meet it, and then that's the home, the body, and possessions like material things because the attachment. And then I have a services offered $50 per hour. That's when I do the demon slayer. That's the inner work, and that's the more it's more time consuming because that's when the heyoke comes out in me. I will pull that out of you. You will hate me. You will like be so angry at me, and you'll think that I'm trying to ridicule you. Which no, I'm literally I am trying to like get to you to that point where that because it's okay. The demon slayer inner work, deep dive into deep memories. That's what demon is. It's that deep dive your into your deep memories, not just your memories, but behaviors and experiences that have been passed down from generation to generation. Generational trauma. I'm here to help you remove that generational trauma. And sometimes, in order to do that, you have to treat it as if you're going up against the worst demon, because that worst demon is not going to want you to see it. And that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So I had that on my table, and I had this one. This one's for the readings. Stepping into your power. Services offered. Readings, $25 per 15 minutes. And this is the part of my journey with regards to the heyoke. So I'm going to mirror you, and you're not going to like me for it. And I will bring up my own experiences. I've said it many times. Why are you like? Why are and somebody that's doing a website up for me? They understood exactly what I was talking about when I said, like, people will go watch a documentary, and that documentary could be like a reflection of your own fucking life. You'll watch the documentary, but you won't look at your own. That's a reflection. So this was my table. It's a setup. I went and I went on the beach and I collected collected the rocks and what have you, and it signifies the spirit, my spirituality. And I'm waiting to get an invoice so that I can set up another table in December. See, it's not so much card readings that I want to be doing as it's more of the one-on-one, because there a lot of interference. When I went there that day, there was a lot of energies coming in at me all at once. So it was like I have people around that I didn't get to or what have you, but it was like the energies just surrounding me when I'm reading. It's like I had to tell people like there's stuff coming in, so I have to move it for a minute because it's that medium. How many of you have watched the movie Ghost? Okay, Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, when the spirits are around because they want to speak through her, they want her to convey a message. Well, it is true. Like, see, the thing is, sometimes that's why it can be hard sometimes doing readings, because maybe you're reading that person, but you're not reading that person because you're a medium, and other spirits are coming in, and they're trying to convey messages to their loved ones. But my readings aren't like everyone else's. And that's what makes it original, authentic. It's not the same. Like I was helping someone get things ready to do their own lives. And they were going to use chat GPT or whatever. And I said, well, no, like, why don't you use your own words? Instead of putting in a few words and then expecting something else to write it up, that's not authentic. That could end up pretty generic because, maybe other people are getting the same form of the message. So what I ended up doing was I took the camera and I ended up doing much like I would do, like you would do an interview type thing, so that they were more calm about how they would bring things forward of what it was that I was trying to convey to them. Because when they wrote it down, what they were doing, when they were saying it to the camera, they were reading it. It's like, don't you know your own self? Just kind of a guideline. So I figured, like, spirit guided me to, hey, do this, do it this way, do an interview, and then tell them, go back and watch your own interview, and then take from that. So that's the heyoke. That's the way I'm helping. Because when I went the other day, when they said about wanting to go live, well, their whole place, there was no feng shui. Okay. And my ex-husband, he said just today or yesterday, he said about people like, people go to school for that. They take courses and classes. Yes, I understand that. That's to learn how to read energy in a room, to know where to place things. But I didn't do that. I go directly to spirit. I go to the energy and I feel it. If I set something somewhere, my body tells me, no, it don't belong there. It's like when you put a puzzle together. Are you going to shove pieces there that don't fit? Or are you going to remove it and find where it does fit? Because the puzzle will tell you where it fits. So my body will tell me where it fits. My body will tell me, okay, ask this, like the spirit will tell me, ask the person this question. Or approach it this way. Because I know that with regards, like when I went public about like on like live about my with regards to my son and his girlfriend. Oh, I know that someone was scheming to kind of corner me and gang up on me. You know, it's that part. You're pissed off because of what I did, but what you did was no fucking different. So for you to call me a fucking idiot, why can't I call you an asshole? There's a big difference. I'm not an idiot. And it was uncalled for. So I'm going to give what you give to me. You're going to love me, hate me, like me, loathe me, and I don't care. But I'm going to give you back what you give to me. So, okay, so let's go back. Okay, excuse me. Intuitive and wise. Heyoke empaths are highly intuitive, able to sense negative energy and the root cause of people's problems. And that's where I said, I do the fucking deep dive. I will make you hate me and despise me and want to fucking punch me upside my head. Because if I don't do that, then I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. You can't be soft and expect somebody who has deep inner demons, deep memories that they don't want brought up, but it's creating a lot of conflict and problems for them. Because, I know one woman, a few women, it was like, I could feel them getting irritated with me. And it's like, like, and I can feel that in my room right now. It's like something's at me. It's like, here, it's the putting the open arms out there and saying, here, allow me to help you go inward. Because when I'm experiencing stuff like that, I go inward. And people can't even tell me or can't even tell that I've just gone inward. Even when you say the word inward, I can feel the energy change inside of me. Tellers. They have an unshakable alliance with truth and justice and cannot bear justice. They expose lies. And oh crap, which can sometimes ruffle, oh, truth tellers. They have an unshakable alliance with truth and justice and cannot bear injustice. They expose lies and hypocrisy, which can sometimes ruffle feathers or make others uncomfortable. And that's what I do. And that's why people don't want to be around me. Or that's why people will say to me, I had someone say to me, well, maybe you said too much. Or maybe I didn't say enough because you obviously didn't get the fucking point. Like, see, I think I see things, and that's why when I explain what I'm observing or what I experience, and you roll your fucking eyes at me, go fuck yourself because you don't make a good friend and you never make a good therapist. And I've actually seen therapists roll their eyes. I have no problem calling out a therapist either on what I experience in the room. Resilient, unlike many other empaths who can be easily drained, heyoke empaths often recharge through giving and are not easily broken by the heavy emotional and physical pain they absorb. When that comes at me, okay, and you're giving me so much pain, that's what I say. Like, I'm not going to take my pain and my frustrations out on someone who is innocent and not involved. But by fuck, if you are the symptom, if you are the cause of my pain, be prepared to wear it. And let me tell you, you make me uncomfortable, you're going to wear my poison and you're going to wear your own because it was your poison to begin with. Challenging backgrounds. Many are said to have difficult or traumatic childhoods. Yes, which contributes to their unique perspective and resilience. I tried unaliving myself about 4 or 5 times. Because I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I felt like I wasn't wanted anywhere, and I felt alone. And people will laugh at that, which makes you very sociopathic, and you need help. And sometimes what it is, it's your own awkwardness. And when I say it's your own awkwardness, it's because it hit that nerve within you, and it made you laugh because it made you uncomfortable because you felt something of your own. And the only way that you can get through that is by trying to laugh it off. I had somebody sit in front of me when I was channeling and I was bringing things forward, and my body started violently jerking and everything like that. And they were laughing at it. You're a sociopath. Because if you can sit there and laugh at someone else's pain, don't be shocked when a fucking heyoke empath comes at you. Because the pain that I go through, it's not to get your sympathy. I'm saying it's fucking painful. And I had to learn how to transmute that pain and reflect back on to what was causing it. That's why sometimes you see me just like, because it's a spirit to spirit. Physical and emotional signs and some beliefs. Some sources list physical traits such as being born in a breech position, being left-handed, and having dyslexia. I always used to get a pain on my nails if I use my left hand, but I'm actually doing better being able to use my left hand now because I'm balancing it out. And I was a breech baby. I was born ass first, so I say that I knew what the world was like when I entered it. So I was already telling them to kiss my ass, telling the system to kiss my ass on the way up. Because that's what a hierarchy is here for. They're here to help you break free of the programming, of the repetitive behavior, of the generational traumas. They're not here to always be nice and coddly. The Hyokia empath's purpose is to act as a catalyst for deep transformation, guiding others towards self-awareness and harmony, even if their methods are challenging or misunderstood. And I'm very misunderstood. Like there was things where I was psychically, like I was getting something, but somebody was like, I was being told something by someone in the flesh. And my spirit would not let me go without bringing it to light. Spirit would not allow me because it was like something was pulling at me, and it was like, you're going to say it. And it's like, it just, because it was so fucking painful. It was like spirit was giving a heads up of something, whether it had to do with that person or whether it was a future event that was going to happen if it wasn't brought to light. But like they say, you always go after the messenger. It's like spirit, when it gets aggressive for me, I hold and I try to resist. And the more you try to resist for bringing that truth up, seriously, live access removed because I violated community guidelines. Where did I violate community guidelines? On TikTok. We recognize that online content related to violence can cause real world harm. Seriously? Seriously. They're showing people getting fucking beat up in the streets. And my content is violent? Wait a minute. Somebody fucking report called it in. Do you agree with this decision? No, I don't. Does not submit, and I'm appealing. Appeal typically takes 24 hours to review. Select a reason for your appeal. The notice is unclear. My life does not contain. Hey, everyone on TikTok, I'm just coming in because my live just got removed because it said that I had a violation of violence or harmful content. But if you scroll, all you scroll through in TikTok is violence. So, hey, whoever reported me, does it feel good? Did I irritate your demons that much? Are si tuta pore ke si tuta ai, are tu kuru portukiastarai. And TikTok, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. No wonder nobody wants to fucking get a pay so that they have to pay you. So Donald Trump and all your little cronies, because I know you're the ones who are trying to fucking buy TikTok. I guess you like silencing people. So you go fuck yourself too. Okay. So on TikTok, we're going to do it a little differently, I guess, because they violated. So I can't go live on TikTok right at the moment. So we're going to keep going here. Just goes to show how controlling the orange face, bubble butt, fucking shit pants is. So that was really fucked up. So I like, like I said, whoever reported me on TikTok, because that's what it was, somebody got their fucking nose at a joint. And my question is, how fucking childish are you? Because I have a feeling I probably know who you are. And you probably don't live, and you're probably not far from me right now. It's that part, hey, I guess it didn't like its own reflection. And I just said, shut up, bitch. Go fuck yourself, fool. Seriously. That's where the matrix becomes afraid. A matrix is afraid of a heyoke empath because a heyoke empath will make you reflect on yourself. And then this song comes up, he don't love you anymore. Well, guess what? If you don't love me anymore, I don't give a shit. Because if it's his behavior, well, that's just fine. Because it's that part of, it probably didn't love you in the first place. So, if that person goes to that person that would be saying he don't love you anymore, I hope he makes you happy. I'm single and I don't have a problem with being single right because I'm not going to be with somebody who's not healed, inner human. And it's like the warlock don't like it. And I'm talking about like the warlock that created the Matrix. Little boy, or should I say the adolescent boy child who never grew up, doesn't want to do his own inner work. Because it was not long after I said about the psychopath. Hey, that's pretty sad because it just goes to show that, I was the person when somebody says that the person is a psychopath and they do stuff like that. Well, you've just proved us right, right? It's that little child that when it's not getting the attention, it has a little AI fit because it doesn't know its own fucking identity. When are you gonna find yourself, man? Oh, right. You think you're king. You ain't my king. Dici que tô por aqui, tudo bem. Eso, todo isso lá que tu disse como vai. I am my king, I am my queen, I am my emperor, I am my empress, I am my god goddess. The system is neither. How many of you watched the movie Creator? I believe it was on, I think it's on Prime. See, they'll send their goons, NPCs or whatever the fuck they call it, the bots, and they go after the heyoke. I do not show any form of expression or laughter. Here, want to see a demon? Sukoi namai. There's your demon. Better go get your Bible. Your Bible's going to save you. Or better go to your pastor or your priest. That's the only way you can find God is you got to go through them, right? Wrong. The way to getting to the inner the God, the true God, it's not going through someone else because they don't want you to get. If you get there, then they lose you as a follower. Seriously, I've actually done so much, like talked about so much shit on here, and when I said about confronting the psychopath, that's when my lie got removed, and they said that I was bringing about violence. But yet, when you scroll through TikTok, all you see, for the most part, is violence. I watched a video yesterday where cops were chasing this one person down, and they got the person down, and another fucking cop ran over the two, and that was on a video. That was posted. They'll show harm being done to children. So where was anything violent here? There wasn't anything violent. Somebody just didn't like what I had to say, which is fucking sad for you. I guess I hit the nerve. Yeah, good. I'm gonna do a lot more. I can feel when people don't like me, and that's, you know, that's a you thing because you, you just really don't like what I bring forward and what I say because it makes you see something that you don't want to see or you've been trying to keep or because that's why people will complain about other people on TikTok. And my question is, how fucking grown up are you? I've not reported anyone about anything on TikTok or any other platform for that matter. It's the childish people that do. It's the true narcissistic, psychopathic, victim narcissists who don't want to self reflect. So, hey, when are you going to grow up? You have your inner child, but when are you going to grow up? Seriously. It's that thing I know that certain people are on my TikTok, like people that I know that are on my TikTok, because it's about them. That's where they want to shut me down. Instead of doing that inward work and looking at yourself. Because I look at myself all the time. I sit and reflect all the time. Do I think I'm perfect? No. And I just heard you think you're holier than thou. You must be my ex-husband saying that because you say it to me all the time. Because no, I don't think I'm holier than thou. But what I do know is at least I have the courage to be honest and tell my story. I have the courage to look inward and not run from it and blame everybody else for it. I was showing my ex-husband something this morning. And it's plain to see, like, but we're sitting there and I was like showing him and he pushed me away. So I took it, I kind of shoved him back. And I told him that, like, that's the same, that's like the vision that I had. The vision I had was I was a little toddler. And I was running around the house, looking under beds and all around everywhere, looking for Fistifer. Running around hollering, Fistifer, Fistifer, where are you, Fistifer, Fistifer? And I seen that little toddler go up to someone and ask where Christopher was, and they got pushed away. So my question is, in that, was Christopher the one? Did Christopher sell his little sister? I'm asking that because why would this little girl be running around looking for Christopher? I have a Christopher in my family. And when he was a toddler, he would call me Tart. And my first overdose when I was 17, I could hear him when the ambulance was taking me. I was like kind of in and out of consciousness. And I could hear him hollering, Tart, come back, no, Tart, come back, Tart, come back, Tart, Tart, come back. And one of my sisters told me that he was running behind the ambulance. So if people don't get things, when you have dreams are memories. They're deep memories that have been suppressed and lost, and they're coming back. So whoever that little girl was, maybe it was me, or maybe I was connected to it. But I strongly believe it was myself. But people will tell me I'm crazy. And I will tell you, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe you're just a fucking liar. Because I feel like my whole life has been a lie. Nothing in it makes sense. So I don't care if you excuse me for being a bitch or an asshole when I make you self-reflect and I take a deep dive into your demons, because they'll tell your demons. I'm not alone. You may see me have nobody in the physical world, but by fuck, I got an army in the spirit. Y eso como es. Era tutto vestito da me. Si non sono uno sicuro era. I gotta laugh because the other night, like, I was asked, like, well, when are you going to give me the money for this and that? I was like, well, when I have it. I start getting frustrated. It's like, well, keep it until I have the money then. I said, or, I'm like, or, just use it as for my time for being here and helping. No. So it was like yesterday I went somewhere, I come back and it was like, well, here, like just have the stuff and like for the gas for you to come in. So it was like, you'd rather pay for my gas to come in, which is like work. So you'd rather pay for my gas to come in than pay for my time. So my time's not when I said to them, I said, so your time is worth money, but my time's not. Because when you work for spirit, you work with spirit, you have the hardest job in the universe because you're working 24/7 in your waking state and in your sleeping state. And people don't get that and they don't believe that because I can feel it in my body. And it's like, well, that's up to you. I don't feel like I'm around family when I was around them because I'm trying to comprehend how family treats family the way they do and then says their family. Because you become more of an acquaintance. So it's like if people don't want to talk to me, good. That's a reflection of yourself. And it just means that, you never cared about me or loved me in the first place because if you did, you wouldn't react the way you did, you'd understand. And many people have a lack of that. So go look into a heyoke, empath. Oh wait, the people I'm speaking to probably won't because they don't care. And if you don't care about me, I'm your loss. You're not mine because I don't need to be treated like I'm a nobody. Because I know I'm somebody. And my name is Taylor. Whether that's my real name or not, I'm still trying to figure that out. So next time you come in contact with someone like myself, realize that you're talking with a hierarchy. You can be soft, hard, tough, loving, caring, understanding. It's all depends on you, of what version of us you're going to see. I will continue to use my sword of Aaron because it is the tongue, it is the truth. It is a version of myself that most people don't like because truth is hard to truth. Truth is hard to face. It's not about forgiveness and forget because those people that do you wrong, they don't care if you forgive them. But they do want you to forget so that they can continue to do it. So it's up for whatever now. Soon face your demons. and your demons usually stand right in front of you. Oh, that's not good, whatever I just caught a whiff of. Aquí como lo hace de ahí. So the submission is submitting to your spirit, submitting to your truths, and being able to release and face them. That's the demon. And that's the hardest parts of ourselves to face. And sometimes it can be pretty ugly, scary, uplifting, joyful, because it's all about the emotion. And it's all, as they say, I heard this from many people, it's the energy and motion. And it is. Energy is always in motion. As I speak, it's an energy and it's in motion. It's moving around within me and it's being released. Ala torre shala tu muerta. Si su kuri ke ala tu kuri kian. Ala tu ke sare tu kuri shala tu kami aku tu kuri ki kuri. We live in a world where people want to be in control of someone else when they don't even know how to control themselves because they don't even fucking listen to themselves. It's that part of do you hear yourself? And I can feel the attack coming in at my head. And it's like, wait. The remarkable thing about loving God is that when you love God, you can love everything else. Whereas if you do not love God, you cannot love anything else. It's like if you don't love yourself, you don't fully love someone else. You just depend on somebody else to fulfill something inside of you that you're supposed to be fulfilling yourself. In calm water, every ship has a good captain. It's a good development. The whole world looks to see what we will do. We cannot fail their trust. We cannot fail to try. Now, that was one thing that the woman said with regards to this video where she was saying about the demon. They refer to we. Well, this was JFK. This was John F. Kennedy who said that. The whole world looks to see what we will do. We cannot fail their trust. We cannot fail to try. So is JFK demonic? He referred to it as we. Meaning the ancestors aren't taking the shit no more. And we kind of, and the ancestors, the spirits, we, as in us, our spirits, ourselves, we as a collective have come back in different forms to take back what was rightfully ours. And as a collective, what was rightfully ours is mine, yours, Jack down, Josie down the street, everyone. Taking back your power, taking back your independence. What do you think Independence Day signifies? You say as a nation, what makes a nation? Is it not you and you and you and you and you and you and you? You think it's a fucking government? So hey, look into what a heyoke empath is, and then next time when you run into someone like myself, you'll understand. With that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most important, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting to see you next time. Don't you all to be big, bold, brave. Most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self. Be true and kind to yourself, be true and kind to others, and know that you have more strength than you can comprehend at times. Stand tall, fast, and hard. And Red Rover, I call my family over. Send you all love, Doris.